But a lot of mental health issues are triggered by things going on in your life. And unfortunately, financial anxiety is a huge one.
Yeah.
Especially if you're the student who isn't necessarily comfortable, or you're not really sure if your bills are going to be paid or handled, or maybe you're down to your last dollars or cents in your bank account, or you're already overdrafted.
Right.
So there's a lot of sleepless nights that actually kind of come with dealing with the high cost of college, dealing with your bills, dealing with everyday living, and also, maybe going off track from that budget, or having that budget for some reason not really account for the things that really happened or were going to happen when you're in school.
I'm with you on that. I think that financially, when things do get tough, that anxiety can set in, especially for a college student who is experiencing what you just said, trying to figure out how they're going to make ends meet. And if you're in a situation where college, your education isn't paid for, and maybe you're even paying out of pocket as you go, I mean, it's a situation to be in when you're 2 months into the semester and that bill for next month is coming along, and you're wondering, what are we going to do here?
How am I going to pay for it? And here's the weird thing too is, even if you, like you said, you kind of start your first term in August, September, that goes through December if you're at a traditional school with fall, spring. And then you're starting to get bills like November, December for January. There's not that much of a break between the bill time, especially if you're going term to term, because you get charged for each one differently. Generally, it's split up over terms. And once you're already in class and say you're trying to just keep up with your busy schedule and your schoolwork, and now you're worried about paying the next bill with the risk of, maybe having your classes dropped or not being able to enroll, it can be really, really, really scary for someone when they're trying to figure out a solution.
Yeah. You're on with that. I think it can be wild, and hopefully, good thing is that there are tools for us to kind of get that financial assistance there. Of course, there's a budget you've got the situation, whether you took out loans or not, or maybe you had certain financial aid. Those things are great to have and can maybe help you figure out how you want to budget as well. But yeah, you just want to be kind of tuned into what resources you do have financially. Where is the money coming from? How is it being used to pay for your school? And then outside of that, what are the expenses that you can control that's within your realm of influence, if you will, because there's only so much you can control, but the things you really want to keep an eye on that.
You want to keep an eye on it. You want to keep your budget going. I mean, to be honest with you, I kind of felt like I fell into that situation a few times throughout college, being worried about money, being worried about paying things, and I always kept it to myself.
Ooh.
Which probably wasn't the best, but I kind of felt like I was alone. Like I was kind of on this island of everyone's fine, everyone's just worrying about school and their classwork, and I started getting into my own head and being nervous because I felt like I couldn't talk about it. It was too personal. Like money was a little hush-hush the way I grew up.
It's very taboo, especially in college, I think.
Yeah. And then later, as I got a little older, maybe a little closer to my friends and stuff, we all had the same fears. But now we've already kind of lived through it or kind of figured out the worst of it, and we've come up with a plan for the rest of the time we had left in school. But it was almost like, oh man, I should have opened up about this a little bit more. I'm definitely not alone. Mm-hmm. It might feel like I'm alone. It might feel like it's really hard to judge or look at someone else and say, oh, they have it all together, they have no worries in the world. That's probably not true.
Yeah.
So maybe if they don't have financial concerns, they might have something else going on. But at the same time, there's probably plenty of people I could have talked to and related to if even I started the conversation, and maybe wouldn't have felt so alone and worked together to come up with a plan, because it's hard when people are saying it's whoever's birthday, we're all going to go out to eat, want to come?
Man.
And you don't want to say no.
Yeah, you don't. And I know I was in that situation quite a bit in college, where that's the thing. When people go to college, sometimes one of the things that they worry about is how many friends they're gonna have. Or maybe you're going to college and your high school best friend or even your group of high school friends, you all are going to different places. So you're worried about getting connected to a new community in college and everything. So you get put in certain situations where, hey, somebody's birthday, or y'all, we just had this final, let's go celebrate. And then everybody wants to go out to eat and everything. And if you're not having those conversations with your friends or even acquaintances about like what you can and can't do financially, it can be some interesting predicaments that you're in where they want to go out and do this thing and you're like, who's paying for that? Yeah. I know I found myself in that situation one time where I was in an intramural club. We were playing basketball, and like we had just won the league at the college. And afterwards, they were like, "Oh, let's go celebrate." And we went to, a sit-down restaurant and everything. I was like, "Oh, I thought we were getting fast food." It's like, no, no, we were not. And, I had to pay for it, and I wasn't thinking much about it then, but looking back on it, I'm going, man, was that meal really worth it?
Like, I didn't need to spend that $40, $50.
No, I didn't.
Because usually it's not that you can't have fun, it's just you have to know your own bounds, and sometimes it's hard to say no, because if you don't really have friends yet, or you're trying to make friends, you also don't want to be the one who always has something like they're worried about or concerned about. But the weird thing is, it's like even some of the same people I hung out with freshman year, we became closer, still friends. Mm-hmm. They were thinking the same thing. And we weren't just like, hey, like if we go, like, do you want to split an entree or something?
Right.
Or
yeah, let's like, split the entree.
Or like, let's just get 2 appetizers and like water. Like sometimes you got to do it. Like,
hey, I still do it to this day. And I think as you get older, it's easier to have conversations about finances.
Or you just don't want to spend it.
Yeah, especially if you're with friends that you were friends with in college and now you're friends with them after college. I think you become pretty transparent about a lot of things that are happening financially, like, hey, what job do you have? And so you kind of pick up on these things, but I'm totally with you. If I go to hang out with friends and they want to go out to eat, because some friends, they only want to go out to eat when they hang out. I'm like, hey, like, oh, yeah, so you want an appetizer? I'm like, I don't. But if you want an appetizer, then we can split. But, I'm not craving one.
Yeah,
so if
I'm good with my meal.
Yeah, I'm good with my meal. So if you really want an appetizer, we can split that. But you best believe you're going to be sending me money if I'm paying for it to cover your portion or vice versa. Yeah. We're not treating no more.